Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. One announcement for you, we are going to come up with details related to mentorship program, current affairs and places in news related programs. Please follow the IAS Mentor. We have so far completed the first chapter, that is the advent of Europeans. Do you remember who are the Europeans who came to India in order? When that development was going on, in India also some developments were going on. Then only we can understand when British are going to conquer India, you should be able to know what is happening in India when they came here. The second one is going to deal with the British conquest of India. The British conquest of India means who were the kingdoms? What was the condition when British were getting the opportunity? In this class, we are going to understand what are the circumstances or what is the condition of 18th century India, because they conquered in 18th century. That is why the topic here is India in 18th century. First, I will give some timeline so that you will understand what is happening in 1800s, 1700s. If you consider this, in which year East India Company was formed? That is 1600. In which year Mughal Empire was established? Mughal Empire was established in 1526. Mughal Empire. On one hand, the Mughal Empire journey is going in one direction. At the same time, East India Company journey also started around this time period. Who was the ruler? Who gave the permission for East India Company? Queen Elizabeth. Identify this one. During this time period, Akbar was ruling India. Queen Elizabeth. It is very coincident that two great rulers of the humanity were living around the same time period. Then, in 1605, Akbar died. Then Jahangir started. During this time period, East India Company established factories. Factories that we have already seen. When Jahangir was ruling in Agra and Delhi, in northern part, the southern kingdoms were Golconda, Bijapur, Ahmednagar. They were very powerful kingdoms in Deccan. By 1600s, Vijayanagara Empire disintegrated. Vijayanagar disintegrated. There was a battle called Battle of Tallikot that took place in 1565. With that, Vijayanagara Empire was destroyed by the coalition of the Deccan Sultans and they defeated Vijayanagar. Vijayanagar started declining. On the ruins of Vijayanagara Empire, some kingdoms like Nayakas, Mysore, kingdoms are emerging, just beginning. They were part of Vijayanagara Empire earlier. Now they are going to become independent kingdoms. Now, in 1628, Shah Jahan rule started. Shah Jahan rule started. During this time period, what is the development of East India Company? East India Company got permissions from Golconda Sultan in 1632. They got Golden Farman. They were now able to trade East India Company goods freely for very nominal price across Golconda Sultanate. In 1628, Shah Jahan came. Shah Jahan conquered Ahmednagar kingdom. Now two were left, Golconda and Bijapur left. This was the time period when East India Company increased some more settlements. East India Company came just as a trader only. They are not political power. Like today we are encouraging MNCs, multinational companies come and invest here, then provide the employment here. That is why Indian rulers were encouraging the foreign traders, because it is benefiting both India as well as foreigners also. East India Company increased more settlements. So during this time period, East India Company or English versus Dutch competition was going on. Remember this, Dutch and English competition was going on. Next one. In 1658, Aurangzeb era started. He was there till 1707. Remember this, the last great Mughal emperor, great in the sense very powerful. He expanded his territory also. He controlled large tracts of land also. He administered huge administration. But due to his own mistakes, it led to disintegration of Mughal Empire. But during his time period, he was a very, very powerful emperor. During this time period, East India Company, they got Bombay from Portuguese. The Portuguese and English maintained good relations, no conflict. Next, East India Company also got Calcutta. Calcutta from the Mughal governor of Calcutta region. And even English and Dutch both also compromised each other, that both also had an agreement that let us not fight continuously. You take care of Indonesia, I take care of India. Now what is happening here? East India Company gradually strengthening themselves. On one hand, East India Company is gradually becoming stronger and stronger. On the other hand, Mughal Empire gradually becoming weaker and weaker. During this time period, he conquered even Golconda. Bijapur also he conquered. But during his time period, some new powers emerged. The new powers are Marathas under Shivaji. It became one of the formidable kingdoms in Indian subcontinent. That is what Aurangzeb don't want to give any chance to the rise of any new kingdom. He wanted to control entire India. He is not willing to accept any kind of independent kingdom. That is what the imperialism ambition means, that only, empire building ambition. He wants to prove that he is capable of conquering large territories than his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather. That is how the ambitions of any individual will be there. Marathas were rising. Shivaji, up to 1680, Shivaji was there. He declared himself as Chhatrapati, that means a sovereign ruler. He is not going to work under Aurangzeb. That is why Aurangzeb got so much frustrated and he wanted to kill this independent kingdom. But rather, Marathas, as people fought against the Mughal Empire, it led to downfall of Mughal Empire. That is why it is also called Maratha ulcer ruined Aurangzeb ambitions. This is what is happening. Now what is happening here? On one hand, East India Company is strengthening itself gradually. On the other hand, empire is gradually breaking. In 1707, he died. Many enemies were there. Now they started Mughal Empire. They started creating their own independent kingdoms. Mughal Empire weakened. So this is what the opportunity for East India Company in 18th century. Mughal Empire weakened. Many independent kingdoms emerged. Many independent kingdoms emerged. We have to see the map also, and we will see who are the independent kingdoms. So many independent kingdoms emerged. Now France or French East India Company, English East India Company, now they are the competitors at this point of time. Already Portuguese came, English came, Dutch came, but now compromise among all of them that let us not fight with another power, French, because in Europe the rivalry between France and English goes to many centuries earlier. That tradition of enmity is continuing now also, even in India also. They were competing with each other, who is going to become supreme. If you have two factories, I should have more factories. If you have one kingdom under your hand, I should have another kingdom in my hand. In this way, they were competing to get upper hand over each other. This led to conflicts. French company, English company, they were fighting. Now, on which soil they are fighting? They are fighting on Indian soil. Indian soil means there will be a ruler, Indian ruler. Now, Indian ruler expect that no one should fight without his permission, because the king law is final one. Whatever king says, whether French, English, Indian companies, it doesn't matter. King is a king. That's what the authority means. Now, this is where the twist comes, and it is going to change the fate of India. French and English were fighting with each other. They are technologically advanced. Whereas Indian rulers saying that without my permission, you should not fight, and if you have any problem between yourself, you come to me, I will resolve it. Don't disturb law and order in my soil. In one of the occasions when Indian ruler wanted to punish both of them, you see how it is going to happen. Now, Indian rulers only defeated by these European companies. When France became successful, English went and complained to the Indian ruler. Indian ruler wanted to punish France or the French East India Company. In return, French East India Company did not listen to Indian ruler. In fact, they mobilized the military. And when they mobilized military, Indian army mobilization of military conflict took place, but the French people only victored. So French East India Company is now defeating even Indian rulers also. They have shown the path to the English. Now, after defeating French, now English are going to play the same rule. They are going to play the same kind of technique that initiated by the French people. Do you see now? Now, during this time period, if anything happened like this, they are going to punish. In fact, when Portuguese were trying to create trouble for Bengal region, Shah Jahan punished them. Do you see? Shah Jahan punished them. When English people are creating trouble in Bengal, Aurangzeb punished them. Now what is happening here? Now Aurangzeb is not there. So many kingdoms are there. Now European companies are so confident that now they are very confident. Indian rulers don't have technology. They don't have any technique to defeat the modern army. Now they are winning one after the other the victories. As a result, in 18th century, English established their power in India. France or the French East India Company was the first who got the chance to rule India. They started intervening in the Indian politics. But after some time, English gained over French people also. They defeated the French East India Company also. At the same time, they defeated Indian rulers also. Overall, the victor of this game the English East India Company. That is the major development in 18th century. So now we have to see on both sides what happened to Mughal Empire, why it declined, who are the independent kingdoms, and how these people are going to conquer. So in this class, we have to understand what are the weaknesses or the internal and external weaknesses, and also who are the independent kingdoms. Now we identify before 18th century these developments have taken place. Now what is the lesson we have to learn from this so far? If India is very strong, if India is having a centralized government, every foreign company should take permission from the central government. If central government is weak, state governments will invite MNCs on their own and they will play the politics. And if MNCs are very, very powerful and if they have technology, if they have weapons, even they will replace the state governments also. They will create their own puppet governments. This is the danger in the present day context for India. In our neighborhood, I can take one example. We can take, or we can, in the present day circumstance, we can already understand this, what is happening here. For example, you take, now this is Indian subcontinent. Whatever history we are studying, we are not studying Bangladesh separate, India separate, Pakistan separate. They were all part of India, Indian subcontinent. So whatever we are studying, that is part of Indian subcontinent. That means the Mughal emperors were not ruling present day India. They were ruling present day up to Afghanistan, Pakistan, India and Bangladesh. Now you see this. You imagine Pakistan is also part of India, Bangladesh is also part of India. Why in international relations? This is what history is very important for us to understand international relations also, the present current day current affairs also. That's why in the first class itself I have explained we are still living in the history. That means this is not yet completed. Whatever is happening there, the repercussions are still continuing, and we are sometimes trying to solve the problems created by them. Sometimes we are falling in the same trap what our ancestors had fallen. Consider Pakistan, India, Bangladesh were part of same country, assume for some time. Now in this part of the country, that time English people and French people were powerful. Now in present day 21st century, who are powerful? China is powerful. And on the other side, USA is powerful. That side, USA is powerful. Now USA want to have its own presence here. China also wants its own presence here. Now you identify. China is developing a port here. And USA also wanted its presence here. What is the government here? Pakistan government is giving permission to both China also, USA also. In the present day context, Pakistan feel that it is going to benefit their economy. It is going to benefit their security system if they provide advanced weapons or advanced machinery. That is what the government, any government encourages MNCs or anyone from the foreign to help, to strengthen you, not to weaken yourself. And what is its calculation? Its calculation is if they have good relation with the most powerful people, then if they need to fight with the neighboring country, they can do that. That is what the equation, that is what it is doing. Now in the long run, what is going to happen now, you say? That's what exactly happened 200 years ago. Now USA and China, just like this, in 18th century, France or French East India Company and English East India Company, they were also rulers. English and French were not the rulers, Indian rulers only. Here also rulers are not Chinese people, USA people, Pakistan government only, Indian government only. Now competition is between English company and French company. Competition is between Chinese company and USA company. That means you consider China and USA, consider your France and England. In Europe, they used to fight. Now in the Pacific Ocean and across the world, they are opposite to each other currently. Could you see how history repeats if we don't learn lessons? Now, if they fight with each other in on Indian soil, it creates disturbance for us. It created. And now, tomorrow, it appears as if Pakistan government is very strong in dealing with these powers. Tomorrow, if USA and Chinese governments felt that they are they want to control this region at any cost, they will start fighting with each other. Because US is expecting some rare earth minerals are here, and China is expecting its continuous control, strategic location. Now, tomorrow, if they compete with each other and if they have problem with each other, they will start fighting. On which soil they will fight? On Pakistan soil. Now, what Pakistan government should do? Pakistan government say, you should not fight. If you have any problem, you should come to me. Now, imagine what is going to happen. That is what exactly Indian rulers also warned both English and French companies. Don't do that. Otherwise, I will punish you. English listened. French did not listen. Indian ruler wanted to punish French people. Now, French people had a military. That military defeated Indian ruler. USA and China both were fighting. Pakistan told don't fight. But one government listened, another government did not listen. If they want to punish that other government defeated Pakistan government, and if they replace that governor, what is going to happen? You visualize? If they change the government itself, what is going to happen? Exactly. French replaced the governments and English people replaced the government. Now, once you replace the government itself, now you are going to behind the scene, you are going to control. Exactly, they started with a small territory like this in Bengal, in Carnatic region, and so on. Gradually, they expanded to other parts of the world. In this place, Balochistan is having problem. First, they declare independence. Then gradually, they will control Pakistan. And once, now why we are worried means, now this is our neighborhood. If they are in danger, it automatically endanger us also. That is why we want stable Pakistan, strong Pakistan, not to fall into the trap of other countries. And we also, same goes to us also. Already we have experience. Why we want to enter into that trap? We should not. Exactly, you apply the same here. When Indian government is very strong, these MNCs did not do anything. When central government is weak, their ambitions increased. And when they defeated Indian rulers only, they got so confident that now one day they are going to rule India. Exactly, that's what happened in 18th century. Let us see what are the causes for the Mughal Empire decline and who are the independent kingdoms. Mughal Empire decline are factors for the decline of Mughal Empire. It took place in 1700s, that's why 18th century. This development took place in 18th century. That is why. And you remember, the last Mughal ruler was defeated in 1857 revolt by the British. So that means till 1857 Mughal rulers were there, but they are not powerful. After the death of Aurangzeb, weak rulers continuously led to decline, and over a period of time, India itself became a colony. Factors. We can have two types of factors. One is internal, another one is external. One is internal, another one is external. Now, when it comes to internal factors, during Aurangzeb time period, certain factors, and after Aurangzeb time period, some more factors. But when it comes to external threat, during Aurangzeb time period, there was no external threat. But after Aurangzeb, external threat also happened. So that's what. No external threat during Aurangzeb, and after this, external threat. But Now you see, first internal problem will come, then external threat will come. For Aurangzeb, external threats are not there. Many threats during Aurangzeb time period. Many challenges. His own policies, one of the factors. Apart from his own initiatives, some other factors also. After Aurangzeb. That is why what we have to learn lesson from this means, when India is strong, India should accommodate various aspirations of the people. Otherwise, we will start fighting, and after powerful empire exit, external threat is going to come. So what are these internal threats? When it comes to internal threat, let me draw them. Then only we'll understand. Internal threats. This is the map. At that point of time, when Aurangzeb was there, by 1670s, Golconda Kingdom, Bijapur Kingdom, Maratha Kingdom, or Shivaji Kingdom, you consider. But Aurangzeb wanted to rule here with a home kingdom also, rule like this. Aurangzeb ruled. In 1680s, he removed it, and he had an agreement with small agreement initially, but that also failed. Shivaji was controlling this as independent. Chhatrapati, that's what the term Chhatrapati. He is the supreme. He is supreme. On his head, no one is there. He is supreme. Bijapur conquered, Golconda conquered. Now what is happening here? This much. But Aurangzeb don't want this existence. He wanted to crush this. As a result, military action. One side, this one. On the other side, again, he was not able to satisfy the people of Sikhs. Sikhs also want separate kingdom, and they were fighting against Aurangzeb army. Jats, Ahoms. Now you see, you are a very powerful emperor. You are having a very powerful treasury. At this point of time, do you know what is the GDP? 25% of world trade. Can you visualize? 1 quarter of the world trade is happening through this subcontinent only. It is India is having that much treasure. That is what it attracted Europeans. 25%. Now what is he using? He is using that money for fighting with this side, with these people, fighting against these people on this side, and fighting against Marathas this side, fighting against like this. After conquering, had he stabilized the military, had he stabilized the army and his empire, then it would have flourished. But throughout his life, he was continuously fighting here or there, somewhere. Here sometime, here sometime, here sometime, here sometime, here sometime, continuously. Now, as a result, from 1658 to 1707, how many years? Almost 50 years, the same ruler. But that ruler is continuously fighting here and there. Now, as a result, you can understand how much resources are going to deplete. So, these continuous wars depleted the resources, depleted financial resources. Destruction only, continuous wars means. Now, during this process, corruption also increases in the bureaucracy. The Mughal administration was based on Mansabdari system. That means they have to maintain certain troops. They have to maintain certain troops and they will get land revenue. That is called Jagirs. That is called Jagirs. But now Aurangzeb issued so many Jagirs. Sometimes he issued Jagirs to multiple people. When continuous wars were going, he needed more recruitment and he recruited more soldiers. Bureaucracy expanded. But where he will give the salary? He says, salary I cannot give directly. I will give you the land, you go and collect from there. Now already some people were already there. Now as a result, what happened? Jagirdari crisis came. If the Mansabdar won't get the money on time, Mansabdar had to spend his own money to maintain the troops. Do you think they will maintain strong troops with their own money? Definitely not. As a result, what happened? Corruption and also inefficiency in the military. And once they get the Jagir, after some time, it is in the queue, multiple Jagirs after one after the other, they will get. Once a new Jagir get after a long time, then what they will do? They are going to exploit the peasants to extract as much land revenue as possible. That is why one of the reasons why peasants like Jats are going to revolt. So it completely messed, completely disturbed the state of affairs that was prevailing before Aurangzeb. Financial crisis, bureaucracy corruption. Now, Indians only trying to become independent rulers. On top of it, his own religious policies also. Religion is a very, very sentiment issue. Imposing jizya, destruction of the temples. Now, he is going to alienate people who were supporting traditionally Akbar time onwards, Rajputs. And he involved in the Rajput succession rivalry also. As a result, he alienated Rajput support also. Sikhs, Jats, Rajputs, Marathas and Ahoms, everyone from all the direction, if they are attacking. Now, it is not external threat, it is internal threat only. That's what internal threats mean. So, policies of Aurangzeb, financial crisis, bureaucracy corruption, not able to accommodate the regional aspirations, Aurangzeb's religious policies, all these combinedly weakened the Mughal Empire. Now, who are there? When this was happening, already it is being observed by different factories. Here, already factories are there. European factories are also there. European factories. Sometimes these rulers like Marathas, they used to attack the European factories if they want resources. And when they attack, what European companies wanted? They want protection from these attacks. They fortified it. That's what, when continuous wars were going on, they even fortified. That means today they say that for defense purpose they are fortifying. Tomorrow they will say it is my land, I will not give this land. Exactly apply. China and America get some ports in Pakistan. After some time, if they don't give it back to Pakistan, what it will do? Same thing with respect to India already happened. That's what we are learning history. That's why even today also history is still continuing. This story is still continuing. This is internal. Now, immediately after his exit in 1707, external threats started. External threats like this. External threats. From this side, Persia, Persian Emperor, Nadir Shah. He reached Delhi, he looted Delhi. And this was the period when Kohinoor diamond was also taken by him. Peacock throne was taken by him. Massacre took place in Delhi. Treasury was completely became empty during this time period. 1739. Now, in 1739 in Delhi is supposed to rule entire India. Now, if Delhi itself is weak and if Delhi itself is not able to protect Delhi, Then do you think the regional kingdoms are going to show respect to Delhi? Definitely not. Now they are not even giving respect. They are not fearful and they want their own rule. This is where the European companies are getting more and more opportunities and aspirations. That's what, when this incident happened, here French East India Company under Dupleix, he was visualizing, or he was foreseeing the future that one day many kingdoms are going to emerge in India. Now French East India Company can participate in the political rivalry and we can benefit out of it. This is what. And now in this side, in 1761, Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali, here third battle of Panipat took place. After this incident, now Delhi itself is now protected by Marathas, and Marathas and Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali fought against each other. In this, Marathas were defeated. Marathas were defeated in the third battle of Panipat, 1761. External threat means from Persia, from Afghanistan. At the same time, European companies also started involving in the affairs of internal kingdoms. Now, what about the regional kingdoms or regional administrators? The bureaucrats who were supposed to maintain integrity of the Mughal Empire, they themselves started disintegrating. They themselves started saying that we are also different. When Delhi itself is under threat, Mughal emperors are not given respect by their own administrators. They themselves started declaring independence. This is what, after these incidents, India became like this. Here one kingdom emerged. This kingdom is Bengal kingdom. Here one kingdom emerged, Awadh kingdom. Here one kingdom, Rohilkhand. Remember this, what are the various different kingdoms that became successor states to Mughal Empire, means this only. Next one. Here, Sikh state, Rohilkhand kingdom, Awadh kingdom, Bengal kingdom, Sikh kingdom. And here already Ahoms were there for many centuries. Mughals, Aurangzeb could not conquer this and it is continuing that side. And here, Hyderabad state. And here, Mysore state. This Mysore comes from Vijayanagara. After decline of Vijayanagara, it emerged. It is a separate one. Hyderabad. Hyderabad means what? Earlier, Golconda, Bijapur were there. Now, Golconda region now replaced by Hyderabad state. Remaining territories were under now Marathas. Now you see, it is supposed to be single empire. Now that single empire converted into these many kingdoms. Now here the Europeans were also there. They are observing continuously. This is what, after 1707, after Aurangzeb died, by 1750s, Mughal Empire turned into different kingdoms. Sikh kingdom, Rohilkhand kingdom, Awadh kingdom, Ahom kingdom, Bengal kingdom, Hyderabad kingdom, Mysore kingdom, Marathas, and here Rajputs. If central government is strong, these European companies should take the permission from there. Now they need not to take, they need not to even worry about Delhi. Delhi itself is now under threat. And in fact, surprising element is Mughal emperor himself is afraid to stay in Delhi, because someone in Delhi also wanted to kill emperor and wanted to create his own kingdom. That is why emperor himself had to run away from Delhi. He was taking shelter in another kingdom, that is Awadh. Awadh is supposed to work under Mughal emperor. Now Mughal emperor himself feeling safe in this kingdom rather than in Delhi. Now you see how, what kind of the conditions that emerged. That's what external threats mean. Parishante and Ahmad Shah Abdali invasion, external threats. But the external threats were caused by many internal policies during Aurangzeb time period, and those gradually led to this kind of state affairs. All right. So this is how during this time period, by 1800s, when these many kingdoms are there, now by 1800s, what English people are going to do? English people are going to conquer one after the other all the kingdoms. One day, it was under Mughal Empire. After 100 years, now it is 1707. Exactly by 1807, most of the territory is going to come under British. That's why whatever policy Indian government takes today, it may not give result now, but it is going to have huge implications. That's why protecting constitution is very important. If we don't respect the constitution, then one after the other multiple developments will take place. Then it becomes very difficult to once again come back to the same position. Unified country led to disintegration and we became colony. That is where exactly these kind of developments took place in 1700s or 18th century. 18th century. So this is what the crux of 18th century India. Politically, it divided. When it comes to now, when the British are going to conquer one after the other, I will give who are the rulers, who are the independent rulers. Those people also important. We will see once I start how the British are conquering one after the other. This is what political condition. Now, what about the social condition? When it comes to social condition, since ancient times, these issues are going on. Caste system, multiple jatis, multi-religious, and slavery, women condition, degrading position. They were not given freedom, restrictions, untouchability, and only upper caste. They enjoy the resources, they enjoy the education. Lower caste and lower class, they will not have the sufficient resources. Reason, but when it comes to the economy, India was flourishing. This is very important one. As I said, 25% of the world trade. That means India is very strong in terms of textile, in terms of silk, in terms of exporting various raw materials. India is known for indigo, saltpeter, cotton, silk, spices. That's what we have seen in the previous class. For what purpose British and other Europeans are coming. Because of that kind of economy, agriculture is flourishing, industries are flourishing, trade is flourishing, and they are giving the tax revenues also to the state. Had there been stability during Aurangzeb time period, then the conditions would have been different. But immediately after Aurangzeb, due to Aurangzeb policies, continuously it degraded. But this is the opportunity. You are like a golden bird. But golden bird is there without protection. So it is like a treasure house is there, but there is no security guard. Now you can visualize how many robbers are going to come and rob you. That's what exactly happened. You are a golden bird, but there is no unity among the people. It's like a house with a lot of treasure. Within the house, there is no unity. And also there is no security guard also. That means there is no head of the house. That means there is no single ruler. And many people wanted to have their own treasure, save their own share of treasury. This is the circumstance Europeans also entered and they played the game. Is it clear? So here, this is what exactly the 18th century of India. Now onwards, you are going to get very many facts also, because in modern India, we are going to get continuously so many facts. With respect to ancient India, our resources are limited. Resources means the historical sources which are needed to reconstruct the history. But when it comes to modern India, we don't have that much problem. All these are recorded. In Mughal chronicles, it is recorded. In British chronicles, recorded. In the contemporary, various different people have written different books also, newspapers also came. That is why they are going to record all of them. That's why we are going to get so many details. From next class onwards, we will get different people. For example, like who are the Maratha leaders, who are Hyderabad leaders and Mysore leaders and so on. One after the other, you will get so many people also, their contribution, their weakness, and how the Europeans or particularly English are going to conquer one after the other. First, they will eliminate French. Later, they are going to eliminate Indian rulers also. Is it clear? So this is what 18th century India. Some questions. Number one, true or false? First question is, Aurangzeb maintained harmony with various regional leaders. Maintained harmony with various regional leaders. True or false? Second one, which Persian emperor sacked Delhi in 1739? Which Persian emperor? We are learning these things so that we will not repeat these mistakes in our lifetime. That is the exact purpose of this. Third one, Third Battle of Panipat took place in 1761 between, who are they? Which rulers fought in Third Battle of Panipat, 1761? Next, true or false? After Aurangzeb, there was a unity among Indian kingdoms. True or false? All right. So try to answer them. You can read Spectrum also. If you read Spectrum, you can read Bipin Chandra. Bipin Chandra is a very good book. And if you are interested in reading a big book like Spectrum, you can read Spectrum also. But the content is more or less Spectrum also taken, the content taken from Bipin Chandra and other books. It is your wish. But if you want to start in simple manner, NCERT Bipin Chandra is the best one. But if you have already read or you want to read some more details, you can go for Spectrum. All right. This is for 18th century India. So in the next class, we will continue how the British conquered these states one after the other. All right. Thank you.